Hey guys, so today I am going to be talking about Valentine's Day. And before I actually get started on my speech, I do want to let you know that I do have people watching me as my audience. I had to FaceTime them because I do not have people around me and I live on my own. So let me just show you these real quick. And there's four there. I don't know if you can really see them or not, but they're there. So I'm just going to put that back right here where they can see me and so I can talk to them as well. So back to what I was saying, today I'm going to be talking about Valentine's Day. And most people do associate this day with love. However, it was actually a celebration of life for two men who were murdered because they believed in love. The origin now of this lovely holiday, it does change depending on where you live out in the world. So that's an interesting fact also to keep in mind as I go through this speech. Today I will be discussing with you the importance of Valentine's Day, some history behind it, and also how this day was created. So, with that being said, the first point that I'm going to talk to you about is the origin of Valentine's Day. Most researchers do believe that this day was founded in Rome, and so Rome is considered to be the home of this holiday. Now we do know that some Romans are crazy when it comes to like beliefs or celebrating holidays or such things, and the Romans actually did celebrate this day or a few days with a feast, and this feast was called Lupercalia. And it was celebrated from February 13th through February 15th. So, in this feast, the Roman men would actually sacrifice a animal or a pet and kill it, and then proceed to take the hide off of this animal and whip their women with this hide. Now, I don't really understand why they did this or what, but the women actually did believe that because they were being whipped with the hides, that it would make them fertile, which is crazy, but anyways. Also in Rome, there were emperors, and there was this one emperor by the name of Claudius. Now, Claudius did not believe in matchmaking or love or marriage or anything like this, and so in his village, there were actually two men by the name of Valentine. And these men were thought to be like matchmakers or ordained ministers, however you want to take it as. They truly believed in the power of love and began marrying and matchmaking people together. And of course, Claudius found out about this and he was not a big fan of it. So he did send his men off to get these men or arrest them, and they were actually captured and murdered on February 14th. And so that's why we do celebrate Valentine's Day on February 14th, because of these two men. Also, the Catholic Church does honor these two men by celebrating St. Valentine's Day, which is about the same thing. So it's not just us, but also Catholic churches and I'm sure other religions as well. Some history with the greetings of Valentine's Day. There was actually a man by the name of Saint Valentine who also lived in Great Britain. He actually came up with the Saint Valentine's Day greeting, if you want to call it that, which was from your Valentine. And he was madly in love with the jailer's daughter, and he would always send her notes, and they would always be signed "Love Your Valentine" and all of this stuff. And so I guess that's where people nowadays get "Love Your Valentine" from and all this. However, it was unsure if love and Valentine's Day actually connected, and that was until 1382 when Geoffrey Chaucer wrote a poem that made a connection between Valentine's Day and love. In the beginning of his poem, he wrote, "For this was sent on Valentine's Day." And the poem was said to be filled up with like romance, and it was some very long poem just about love, and so people kind of connected those 2 days together after he wrote that poem. When people celebrate Valentine's Day, they write cards or send flowers or send chocolates and stuff like this. Well, this actually began in the 18th century in Georgian Britain. Handmade cards were the only thing that were available at this time, and so people would decorate their own cards with hearts and poetry, romantic symbols, flowers, whatever. And so that could explain why today, when people make cards for one another or your children make cards for you, that's why they do send flowers or chocolates with it, or you see that they wrote hearts and love and poetry on those cards. The handmade cards were also delivered anonymously, like a secret admirer almost. And so I guess that's where people get secret admirers from on Valentine's Day. In Georgia and Britain, this was also where the first pre-printed cards were made in the early 19th century. The printing and manufacturing technologies did grow, allowing for a mass production of these cards. So you can thank Great Britain for your Hallmark cards that you just go and pick up at the store. I hope that you all have learned something special and what I really consider interesting about this beautiful day that we represent with love. In conclusion, we have discussed two different ways that Valentine's Day was originated, such as the Romans celebrating Lupercalia, or the Valentine's Day men being captured and killed, or you could even talk about the jailer's daughter and the man who was captured. So now we all do know why this day is celebrated and why we do send Valentine's Day cards, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.